been a while since the last one, so I figured I'd do another Q&A. What are your favorite makeshift weapons? Ever since I played Dark Tower as a kid, the soldiers, one of them, their weapon, was a bat with nails in it, and I always thought that was a great weapon. I'm also fond of Reggie's 4-barrel shotgun from Phantasm 2. What's your favorite Van Damme movie? He's done a ton of great action movies, Kickboxer, Bloodsport, Universal Soldier, but I absolutely adore JCVD. It's showing a completely different side of Van Damme. He's acting his ass off in it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. If you haven't seen it, seriously, check it out. Don't watch it dubbed. It ruins his performance. Watch it subbed. He gives a monologue that will just blow you away. It's so good. What's your favorite spy movie? I guess I'll go with two here. For your non-traditional spy movie, True Lies. It happens to be about spies, but it's not really what would normally be considered a spy movie. For the traditional spy movie, Ronin. Really awesome spy movie with a lot of action, a lot of intrigue. Another one that gets overlooked a lot. A movie that everyone says is so bad is good, but is actually bad. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I've tried so many times to watch this. Love the first one. I love the video games. And I saw this in the theater and and then repeatedly I've tried to watch it on DVD and cable, and it's just bad. How do you feel about direct-to-DVD sequels to theatrically released movies? Are there any good ones? I have no issue with them. There's been a lot of really good ones. Never Back Down 2, The Beatdown, is really good. I've enjoyed the American Pie Presents movies. It's, sophomoric dick and fart humor, but they're funny. I like them. The Amityville Horror movies, even though they're loosely Amityville Horror movies, they're still sequels and they're still enjoyable. Wishmaster 2 is actually better than Wishmaster 1. Wrong Turn 2 is phenomenal. Favorite and least favorite films in the long-running horror franchises, not including remakes. For Friday the 13th, my favorite one is 7, and my least favorite one is 9, Jason Goes to Hell. For Nightmare on Elm Street, my favorite is Dream Warriors 3. Least favorite is New Nightmare. Halloween, I'm kind of tied with 1 and 3. The first one is so influential, but I genuinely like the third one. I'm just going to say, 1 and 3. And for least favorite, 8. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, my favorite is the first, and my least favorite is the fourth, The Next Generation. I don't dislike the fourth. I actually really enjoy the fourth one. It's so silly, but of the 4 original films, it's just my least favorite of the 4. Child's Play. My favorite is 2, and least favorite is Seed. Have you ever considered reviewing good, bad TV shows? In the future, maybe. I have a bunch that I'd like to do. The updated Flash Gordon, the updated Bionic Woman, Jack of All Trades, Cleopatra 2525, Dark Skies, Mortal Kombat Conquest, Werewolf. Just off the top of my head, there's so many that I want to do. Eventually, I want to, absolutely. Can you recommend any good podcasts? I'm actually part of a long-running podcast called Radiodrome. If you haven't listened, you should. We talk about movies, television, whatever we feel like, really. Another one that you should check out is The Projection Booth. That one is just huge. Mike White does an awesome job with it. They interview some really top-shelf people, and they're always interesting. If you look, some of the episodes go on for hours, but it's not boring. They're always good. They always bring their A game. Video game that needs a sequel. PsyOps. This game is phenomenal. It was a PS2 game, and it was all about psionics, and you could lift stuff with your mind. You could blow up other people's heads using your thoughts. I guess it's kind of Scanners the game, really. So unbelievably good. And the thing that killed me was, basically, you're a Jedi. You have all kind of the abilities, maybe with the exception of like Force Lightning, but you can do all the things that Jedis do. And then when Force Unleashed came out, it wasn't as good. as Psyops was. The game ended on a cliffhanger, and you still got an ending, but it was a cliffhanger. If ever there was a series that needed to be revived, it's Psyops. If you've never played it and you have a PS2 or a backwards compatible PS3, I believe it was also on the Xbox, definitely get it. You could probably get it cheap. It's so worth it. Favorite documentary? I gotta go with King of Kong. It's funny, it's got heartfelt moments, and everybody I've told about it, they look at you sideways. They're like, what? It's about a guy who's trying to get the Donkey Kong world record, and that's interesting. It's so good. It shows the whole subculture of all these people that are doing world record attempts at these old video games. Steve Wiebe, you cheer for him, and Billy Mitchell makes such a good villain. I love it to pieces. It's great. It's absolutely great. Top 5 movies that should get Blu-ray releases. Off the top of my head, Eight-Legged Freaks, Death Machine, Nemesis, Blood Moon. I can't believe Blood Moon is not better known. Just one of the best action movies ever. And I'll go with Cool as Ice. We need HD Vanilla Ice. Word to your mother. Or drop that zero and get with the hero. Come on. What movie would I make a remake or a sequel to? If I could do a sequel, I would probably go with the 2007 TMNT. I'd completely forget the recent Michael Bay produced one and go right back to that and make a follow-up to that. Do it animated, use newer CGI techniques, but kind of keep with that aesthetic and follow the storyline that they set up. TMNT I thought was great. It was a nice reintroduction to the series. It was a reboot / sequel. Even though it was like fully animated, it still followed the stuff that they set up previously. The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is really expensive. It was okay. Wasn't terrible, but there was so much more they could have done. But I'll talk more about that when I'm doing my best worst of 2014, which is really late. Really, really late. And for the hell of it, I'll say, what would I do a remake of? I'd go with Screamers. It was based on Second Variety, a Philip K. Dick short story. I really liked the movie a lot, but there was a lot of missed potential. There was a lot of things that they could have done that they didn't, more or less due to budget constraints. I would do a remake, but I would still be respectful to the original. I wouldn't just copy it. I'd follow the original short story, because Screamers, they did a lot of things differently. I'd stay more in line with the book. So that's all I got this time around. As always, if you got any questions, you can email me. You can put them on Facebook. If it's a short answer, I'll probably just email you or write it back on Facebook. If it requires a little bit more detail or whatever, I'll save it for one of these. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you next time.